What's happening everyone, Nick here from TV Box Top with another new TV Box review. This model right here has received the most requests from my viewers for the last couple of months, as it falls within the high-end category with hardware to attract most TV Box enthusiasts. So in today's video, you have the long-awaited review of the H96 Max V58 Octa-Core Rockchip RK3588 64-bit Wi-Fi 6 Android 12 8K TV Box. So in this review, there are things that you are going to like very much, and there are things that you are not going to like so much. So I ask that you stay with me throughout this video so that you can determine if this box is right for you. So don't go anywhere, that's up next. Today's video is sponsored by geekbind.com, the leading online retail store for a wide range of consumer electronics and gadgets. At Geekbind, you can find the products you love at the lowest prices. They provide superior customer service and fast global shipping. So visit geekbind.com today for the lowest prices and coupons. See the link to today's product in the description below this video. And welcome back. So the contents of the package are pretty standard. You have the new V58 model itself. They included a G20S Pro Bluetooth plus dongle combination ear mouse with voice command feature, one HDMI cable, a 12 volts 1.2 amps DC power adapter, a pair of external antennas, a manual for the Bluetooth remote, and a user manual for the TV box. So the design of this model has somewhat changed from the previous model, where the body is made of plastic with an anti-fingerprint scuffed surface with the H96 Max branding to the top. For input-output, it has one HDMI 2.0A port, one RJ45 gigabit Ethernet LAN port, one optical audio port, a reset button, its DC power socket, and a pair of external antennas to its rear. To its left side, it has one USB 3.0 port, one USB 2.0 and some cooling vents. There is no micro SD card reader. To the other side, you have some more cooling vents. At the front, it has an LED display. And below the box, it has 4 hard plastic feet and an LED strip circling the bottom edge for some lighting effects. So when you start up the box for the first time, you have a very cool H96 Max startup animation, followed by a first startup wizard that you only have to complete once. So once you have completed the wizard, you will be presented with the flagship H96 Max launcher. It has a transparent design with large main shortcuts and a custom shortcuts bar to the bottom. You have a date and time widget and a one-click cleanup button that kills apps running in the background, freeing up system resources. Unfortunately, even though they have included a Bluetooth ear mouse, the launcher does not have a navigation bar or status bar for easy navigation with mouse pointers and to access the recent apps feature. In just a moment, I'll attempt to install an alternative navigation bar. Upon connecting to the internet, I checked for firmware updates and there was one firmware update available, so I completed that update, and there are 2 critical changes they made to improve this firmware, and I'll discuss those in just a moment. So this firmware was compiled using the Android 12 SDK, and it's the hybrid version where its base operating system is Android TV OS, but its interface, virtual keyboard and other features are of the mobile version. Here is its latest firmware build information, and you have access to developer options. When connected to my TV, you get 4K display up to 60Hz, but it can go as high as 8K resolution, and the option to select 8K only becomes available when connected to such TV. It has HDR display with an auto HDR feature. When you select this checkbox, it puts the box into adaptive HDR 10-bit mode that only activates when an HDR video is being played. It has built-in screen rotation to portrait mode, reverse portrait, and reverse landscape. However, in testing this feature, the default launcher is not responsive to fit the portrait mode, so it overlaps, and I will have to try it with an alternative launcher in just a moment. You have advanced color, brightness, and contrast settings. It comes with AI video upscaling feature to enhance low-quality videos. Under the section labeled Input, you have HDMI CEC options. There is a section called Decoders and Bitstream. This is where you'll find your audio output options via HDMI or SPDIF optical audio. There is also an option called Decode, and this is the option you select when you want the box to utilize software decoding to process surround sound audio from apps such as the MX Player, VLC, and the Kodi Media Player. If you select HDMI bitstream, you will be presented with surround sound audio options to utilize the box's built-in surround sound audio decoders, and the same would apply to SPDIF audio, but it can only deliver Dolby Atmos and basic DTS audio. Under Display and Sound, you have a text scaling feature where you can change the size of the system fonts. It has an auto frame rate switching feature, and you have a gaming mode switch with the option to select which formats you would like to enable. It shows here that it only supports HDR10 with no Dolby Vision or HLG. In this section, under Advanced Audio Settings, it shows the available surround sound audio decoders available, and it shows that it only supports Dolby Digital. However, this does not mean you can get all of the other formats via software decoding, and I'll test for those later in the video. So after the firmware update, one of the critical changes they introduced is an advanced settings area where you can access the ability to switch between all the launchers installed on the box. They introduced a hardware monitor overlay feature, and they attempted to include a navigation bar with a switch. However, I still cannot access the navigation bar if they included one. Maybe they can fix it in a later update. So those are the features, and here's a look at the apps that come pre-installed on the box. So to see what's under the hood, let's take a look at its system and hardware information. So the manufacturer is Rockchip, and here is the model of the mainboard. It comes with 8GB of LPDDR4 RAM and 64GB of internal storage. Its Bluetooth version is 5.0. Its Rockchip RK3588 CPU is an octa-core model comprising of a quad-core Cortex A76 clocked at 2.2 GHz and a quad-core Cortex A55 clocked at 1.8 GHz for a total of 8 cores with a maximum CPU clock speed of 2.2 GHz. This chipset is configured in 64-bit mode, which means it can run both 32 and 64-bit apps and games. Its display and graphics is powered by the Mali G610 quad-core GPU with OpenGL version 3.2 support. For network, it comes with a dual-band Wi-Fi 6AX technology along with a Gigabit Ethernet LAN port. Its operating system is Android 12 Snow Cone Edition and is rooted. Under devices, its GPU has Vulkan API version 1.1 support. For operating temperature, it idles around 48 degrees Celsius, and we'll see how it increases during 3D gaming. And for playing media, it comes with all of the decoders for the playback of 4K HDR videos. However, there is no AV1 decoder or any surround sound audio decoders. However, this does not mean you can't get surround sound audio. I will test in a moment to see if that can be achieved at the software level. And that's its system and hardware information. For Google certification and protection to stream paid subscription services, its DRM information shows that it has Google Widevine Level 3 with no HDCP protection. This means the box is not Google certified, nor does it have the digital rights or Netflix ESN certification to watch movies in HD or 4K. You can, however, sideload an APK version of Netflix, but it will be limited to 480p resolution even if you have an HD or 4K account. The same will apply to Amazon Prime Video and Disney+. For root access, at first the firmware out of the box was not rooted, but after the firmware update they granted root access. For watching YouTube videos, I recommend that you use the mobile version of YouTube as it plays smoothly in 4K 2160p resolution with HDR. When I attempted to use the Android TV version, it was limited to 1440p resolution, and when I enabled the Auto HDR feature, it blanked out every time I tried to play a 4K HDR video. For mobile screen mirroring, it does not come with the official version of Miracast for Android phones and tablets, but you can use the AirScreen app or the DLNA app they included instead. Here I'm casting my Android tablet using the AirScreen app. For customizing my launcher experience, I ran into a couple of issues. Firstly, I installed the menu button alternative navigation bar and it works, but there are two features on this bar that are not working despite having root access. The recent apps feature is not working, and the auto hide feature is also not working, so you are stuck with it on the screen, or you can just minimize it to the left corner. The other issue is that you can install alternative launchers and you can get long click menu pop-ups and drag and drop shortcuts. However, you cannot change the default wallpaper or install live wallpapers, and not to mention the screen rotation feature still has issues even with the alternative launcher. The included voice remote is a nice addition. However, there are two things you should know. Before the firmware update, the voice search feature seemed to be working, then it suddenly stopped working after the update. The next issue is that when you press and hold the power button, you can get power key definition options. However, when you shut down the box, you cannot restart with the power button. The good news is you can use its IR learning feature to learn the power button function for the box. The bad news is they did not include the stock remote in the box, so you can't learn the power button function. It's time to test its media playback capabilities, and I'll first start with 4K HDR videos, and I'll be using the latest nightly build of the Kodi Nexus 64-bit version 21, as it has all decoders that may or may not be missing from the firmware. It also has cool on-screen display information about the video being played. In this demonstration, we are looking for smoothness of playback and HDR activating via its adaptive HDR feature.
Only a win for Barca would be enough, because it would give them the same number of points as Atletico, but the head-to-head goal difference is what counts in the case of a tie on points. The mosaic of the Camp Nou and the Barcelona.
So it plays 4K HDR videos okay, even AV1 videos, but AV1 videos plays best using the MX player. For my second demonstration, here I have it connected to my 7.1 audio receiver, and using the same Kodi media player, I'll test for all the surround sound audio formats. So here it outputs Dolby Atmos.
The world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio.
From the same video, when set to front speaker surround configuration, it produces Dolby Digital Plus.
whether the soundscape sets the mood of a scene.
From this video, it produces DTS HD Master audio. From this video, it produces Dolby Surround on multi-speaker mode and a Dolby True HD when set to front surround.
We have the center channel. Over here is the right channel.
And this video produces DTS-X. Please note, whether you set the bitstream and decoder option to decode or HDMI, you have to enable surround sound audio options manually for it to work. Also, the only media player, and I mean the only media player you can get surround sound audio on, is the latest Kodi Nexus version. I tried all other media players, even the one that comes default on the box, and they don't work to produce surround sound audio formats. Only Kodi gives you that, but not the Matrix version, the Nexus version. So the V58 has an Octa-Core CPU clocked at 2.2 GHz with Vulkan support, and with these specs, where it really shines is in its 3D gaming performance at safe operating temperatures. So in this final demonstration, I'll play some regular high graphics Android games, one 64-bit game, games that need gamepad key mapping, and those that are gamepad ready. And I'll also play some PlayStation 2 emulator games via the Aether SX2 PS2 emulator. This is FIFA Mobile World Cup Edition, and I'm using the Panda gamepad key mapping app, and the CPU temperature is stable at around 67 degrees Celsius with no form of additional cooling.
Asamoah, and he's made headway. It's got to be. In it goes! It looked as though they were down and out. Not a bit of it. What will happen next?
Well, that was a fairly easy finish in the end, but he's...
This is Grid 2 Custom Edition high graphics 64-bit racing game. It's gamepad ready, and during gameplay, the temperature is stable between 69 and 70 degrees Celsius. This is Shadowgun Legends, a 32-bit high graphics game, and it's gamepad ready with its graphics set to ultra high. During gameplay, the temperature rose to around 79 degrees Celsius. This is PUBG, with its display set to HDR and graphics detail set to high. I'm using the Panda Mouse Pro gamepad key mapping app, and during gameplay its temperature remains stable around 68 degrees Celsius.
Marked a location.
For PS2 emulation, I'm using the Aether SX2 emulator with some special tweaks that I learned off of YouTube that really enhances the performance of your gameplay. In the settings area, I changed the GPU renderer to Vulkan and used the rest of the tweaks from the video. Just look how fast it plays with very high graphics detail, and this is very impressive. And this game needs no introduction. This is God of War 2. The game is running so fast, I think it's a little too fast. So its gaming performance is the best I've seen from a TV box to date, and to play these games I'm using a regular Bluetooth gamepad, and I successfully mapped its buttons to the PlayStation controller in the settings area. So with all its power and performance, let's take a look at its benchmarks and compare it to the rest of boxes on my rankings chart. So starting from this video, I'm making some changes to my benchmarking segment so that I could complete these tests faster and maintain consistency at the same time. The AnTuTu benchmark consists of various sub-benchmarks such as RAM copy speed and internal storage read and write speeds. It has a CPU, single core and multi-core benchmarks, and it also has GPU benchmarks. So I will no longer be using the A1 SDBench app, the Geekbench 5 app, or the 3D Macro Graphics benchmark apps. The data from these various tests will be extracted and displayed directly from within the AnTuTu benchmark. It also comes with a Wi-Fi and Ethernet LAN speed test, but it's not working accurately, so until such time I'll be using Octa. So first, the results of its RAM copy speed and its internal storage read and write speeds. It has a RAM copy speed of 9,752 megabytes per second. Its internal storage has a sequential read speed of 311 megabytes per second and a write speed of 125 megabytes per second. Its Octa-Core CPU, clocked at 2.2 GHz, got a score of 25,530 single core, and its multi-core performance got a score of 70,926. In benchmarking its Wi-Fi bands and Ethernet LAN speed, the 5 GHz band and the LAN port, which is a gigabit LAN port, achieved the maximum speed of my network of 154 megabits per second. The 2.4 GHz band achieved 46%. In its graphics benchmark, it could not complete the Swordsman test. It completed the Terracotta test with Vulkan support and the Refinery test with OpenGL 3.1, and it got an overall score of 157,364. And with all these tests and more combined, it got a whopping AnTuTu benchmark score of 489,361. And when I enter the scores on my rankings chart, the V58 ranked at position number 2 based on its overall AnTuTu benchmark score, along with a 4-star rating based on its pros and cons. You also have access to a discount coupon using this link right here. See the link to this chart in the description below this video. So in summary, this latest H96 Max V58 model is one serious piece of hardware for those of us who live in the world of SoCs and SBCs, and it's the kind of hardware we would love to match with the perfect firmware. However, too many times we have seen that we cannot have both, and we are left with either a fantastic piece of hardware or a fabulous piece of firmware, and this often leads to confusion on which is the right TV box to purchase. When it comes to this model, I would highly recommend it if you were looking for a high-performance 64-bit gaming TV box with the best hardware at this time. It can also be used for watching movies and TV shows, playing self-hosted 4K HDR AV1 videos. It can deliver all the surround sound audio formats using the Nexus version of the Kodi media player. It has root access, the best benchmarks in the industry. It comes with a Bluetooth voice remote, and its firmware has lots of unique features. To some, what may come as a deal breaker would be the lack of Google certification for paid subscription services to play in HD or 4K, the lack of a navigation bar and status bar with the system controls, the exclusion of surround sound audio decoders built into its firmware and having to use software decoding, the fact that the included Bluetooth remote needs the stock remote to learn its power button function to turn on the box that should have been included or pre-programmed, the inability to change its custom wallpaper or use live wallpapers, and the lack of a root switch to switch between root access and not having any root access. So even though I highly recommend it, it's far from perfect. Just understand the pros and cons and if these things matter to you or not. So with that said, as I conclude, special thanks to geekbind.com for sponsoring this model for review at the request of some of my viewers. They hope you enjoyed the video, and if you would like to get your hands on this exact model at the lowest price online, they provided a $10 coupon, reducing the price to only $169.99. So to take advantage before the coupon expires, I placed the link and coupon in the description directly below this video. So to ensure that I receive more boxes for review in the future, your support is greatly needed by first using the link in the description to purchase, as this provides monetary support to this channel. Next, you can click the thumbs up button to show your interest in this particular type of videos, and it also helps me with the YouTube ratings. And finally, the third thing you can do if you just landed on this channel for the first time, you can click that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell to receive notifications when I drop these TV box videos or decide to do a giveaway. I appreciate all the support you have given me thus far. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.